Hey everyone, this is Coffee with Soul. This is where we all just hang out and have a bit of a chat, hold a bit of a discussion, maybe swear a little bit, and try to have a good time. So I want to give a good and hearty hello to the folks that are joining us early, but of course you could always join us if you want to be part of the super exciting action. Wow. We run every Tuesday through Thursday, starting at 8:30 a.m. The address is somewhere where I paste it, but let's give a big hello to Ezreal you're the first person to say hi. What's up to Justin? What's up to Jalzon? As much as I see it, what's up to Menergy? What's up to Fane? What's up to Penny Hero? First time talker. Good to have you. What's up to DeGrissimer? What's up to Betty? Hello, hello, hello. I love you all. And let's get started with damn. These patch notes, I should say, amazing, I want to say. It's incredible, I want to say. It's everything that we could love in a patch or an expansion or whatever is what I'd love to say. I think to be most accurate though, it's like I said this in a tweet yesterday. This patch feels like Christmas. That's come early, but it's also come late, right? Not what I mean? The whole should have been here before. But we're seeing like so many really, really nice quality of life changes with respect to alt and other such things. And I just want to say off the bat that, you know, in the future, I do very much hope that when we see the next thing, like in 9.2, we're going to see another thing. I hope that it's also released with respect to how alts play out with all these different sorts of catch-ups and things that are coming in several months later. I think we're going to be about 3 or 4 months into patch 9.1 until we get to 9.15, and then we get all this like kind of cool stuff. But things are coming along. More and more things are becoming testable. I haven't really taken a good look myself. At least into the patch. I looked at the notes, obviously, so I'm going to go over like some of the highlights, and I'll be going over them a bit more in depth for the weekly in a couple of days. But looking at a couple of things, I wrote down like a couple of things that I was like, ooh, yeah, you know, that's you know, that sort of thing. And let's see if this actually works, because right now my web browser does not want to work. That's cool. I appreciate that. Thanks, Google browser thing. One step closer to Firefox. Know what I mean? Actually, Firefox gives me lots of problems, so that's why I'm still working with Google. And at some point, I'll be able to get this out. Okay, here we go. I should give a celebratory acknowledgement for, I believe it was the Guild Progress that was able to smash all the Phase 2 Burning Crusade Classic raids just like that. Just like that. It was absolutely expected, beyond the, it's going to be pre-nerf this content and other such things. Oh, thank you, Menergy. Thank you very much. It's going to be pre-nerf. It's going to last much longer. By what, like a measurement of minutes or something like that? And this isn't even a diss. This is just like the cold, boring reality of what you get when you have educated and prepared players being thrown at old content. That's really the long and short of it. Take away most of the time gating and things like that. And then we're okay. So now what we're going to see people farming the crap out of tier 5 content. I think that's about right. Yeah, tier 5. And then I think after this, like, I think it's between Hyjal and Black Temple, that's tier 6. Some people are going to have to correct me on that one, because I'm clearly demonstrating that I did not raid 25-man stuff in Burning Crusade. What's up, Azure? Oh, well, sorry about that. But I imagine that, you know, these teams and others, among others, are going to be farming the crap out of what is now current content. You know, I don't know if there was getting those like those Tears of Eternity or whatnot. I don't know if that's going to be available now, or if it's something that they gotta wait for the next phase in order to do that. Black Temple is tier 6. Thank you. See, demonstrating incompetence here. But we'll see. That's pretty much the expectation now, at least among like the best of the best, right? Most everyone else that's still playing TBC Classic, which I'm sure plays out, I'm sure it plays out fine for most folks. I think the big problem that people are identifying with most is with regards to like PvP queues and things like that. So it's probably that I don't know how that's gonna go, but best of luck to them, and congrats to the teams that smashed that thing like so freaking fast. And I don't know why is one of my browsers just not wanting to work right? I think I'm having computer problems. Oh well. So anyway, to the 915 patch. Excuse me. Highlights that I saw. Oh man, bolstering got. It's a huge nerf. Holy crap! So bolstering, as you know right now, you kill mobs in a Mythic Plus. Every mob that's killed, the surrounding mobs within a certain radius, they are buffed. They get more health, they get more damage, and the buff is permanent. And then, like if there's like a really big screw up, like people blow up and add too hard, or someone accidentally pulls another pack over, and then that pack comes over, and then all of those get bolstered too early because the other mobs die, and then everyone's really sad. That shit got nerfed hard because now bolstering is a temporary buff, and it only lasts for 20 seconds. And it just kind of like, thinking of this over in my head, I'm like, that they pretty much undid bolstering. It feels, at least at a glance, it feels so non-threatening now. It's sort of like having not explosive, not grievous. I remember there was some. No, I think it was bursting. There we go. It's kind of like bursting, except very different. Where you just want to make sure that the buff doesn't refresh. But otherwise, at worst, it's like 20 seconds of, oh, I feel kind of bad about myself, and then the mob's damage and HP will go down, and I don't know, like that feels good. And on top of that, there was also a nerf to necrotic, I believe, where the duration, it was reduced by about like 25 to 35%, something like that. I think it only lasts like 6 seconds. I don't know off the top of my head, but necrotic got a nerf where basically the debuff's duration is a lot shorter. So the damage ticks are going to be potentially a bit shorter, but more than anything, tanks will be able to make that thing fall off a heck of a lot faster. What I would love to see is, I don't think we'll ever see this happen. I would love to see like just like a very brief, how should I describe this? Like when a tank gets into combat, of course you get necrotic stacks like right away. You get a whole a fairly good crap ton of stacks, and then typically you gotta run away or start kiting or something like that. I would love it if they made it so that when you engaged with mobs, it took like a couple of seconds before the mob started applying necrotic stacks, something like that, to like get like some good solid initial aggro, like something like, I think that would help like a little bit as well. That would be really nice. But seeing a nerf like that, that's huge. I love it. I saw something about an account-wide chest that you can buy from an heirloom vendor, as long as you meet a certain rating requirement. So I believe for Mythic Plus, you need to have a rating of 1500, so which is the Keystone Conqueror achievement. In order to buy this chest, for this Conquest chest, you need a PvP rating of 1600, something like that. I couldn't test this because I am not a Keystone Conqueror yet. I'm like one dungeon away, actually. I've been slowly building my way up. which has been really nice. A big thanks to the team that's been helping me out with that tremendously. It's been great. So thanks to them. But not able to test it. What this does though, it sets a really interesting precedent that I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet, because what this does, because I think this is like a chest that you can trade down to alts, but it's kind of a random roll, but you can effectively gear someone up with Mythic 0 gear because it has an item level of 210. You can gear someone up without them really having to go into a dungeon at all. And from there, they'll be able to slowly upgrade that gear. I mean, ideally, if they just ran Mythic Plus, then they'll be able to get like lots of Valor. They'll be able to at least get some meaningful upgrade by doing Covenant Callings and things like that. So it's another upgrade path. I think that's cool. It's a little bit weird too because because this kind of clashes with Korthia gear, and so the overlap. Like I said, it's a little awkward, but I think it's a nice precedent that kind of respects one Mythic Plus career people who want to. Well, actually, I think what else I think is kind of cool is that you could just buy it for yourself, too. So, at the very least, you'll be able to like potentially roll for gear that you might want. It sucks that it's not like. It would be kind of cool if there was like a selection of stuff that you can buy that it just cost a lot more, kind of like the Titan Residuum that we had in BFA, where there was like certain Azerite gear. You want to buy that? Okay, cool. It's going to be way more expensive, but you can target whatever it is that you want. Here with upgrades, it's a little bit different, but I still think that's pretty cool. One of the biggest things though that I saw that mostly applies to me and a select few others is that account-wide ignore is going to be a thing, finally, and I'm I'm stoked for that because, well, I have problems. But more than it, well, so let me share really quick. Like I have a stan, I have a stalker, who follows me around, who whispers me, random crap. From other characters, and I gotta ignore them all, and it's really annoying, and blah blah blah. And thankfully, it's just annoying. What I go through, like I said, it's annoying, it's obnoxious. It bothers me a little bit. It threatens to compromise my experience. I've reported it. Nothing's been done, and it really sucks. Yes, and I would have loved to have an account-wide ignore option. But what I experience, that ain't shit compared to what people really go through. Like women who are harassed, people who are marginalized, or people who are just hated on. It's terrible how some of these people are treated, and there hasn't been much of any recourse because reports go slow for whatever reason. And there hasn't been an account-wide ignore option until, well, what's going to be soon in 915. So now that I ignored that person once, no matter what they do, unless they hop onto, I guess, another WoW account, they'll have to make another WoW account and then, go through that trouble. But then my ability to ignore that now has become that much more powerful. So, yay, better late than never. I appreciate it. Cool. Thanks, Blizz. Yada, yada, yada. What's up, Fawn? And then the last thing to, I guess, talk about a little bit would be these pictures, or like what people are calling like mass censorship. We're seeing paintings and paintings and drawings and other references that are like even remotely sexual being scrubbed out or something like that. Yeah, we're talking about the paintings. Yeah, you just walked into it, chat. Sorry. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest, guys. Like to me, it's not a big deal because at least I know that if it wasn't for data mining and Wowhead and social media, I know I wouldn't have noticed. And I have a feeling that it would take a while for anyone to notice if it wasn't for data mining and things like that. And even then, people who stay out of social media, they may not hear about it at all because right now it's just kind of a flashpoint. I think people are making a mountain out of a molehill. OMG, censorship. What are they doing to my game? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Go ahead. Keep defending your game. Some folks have said that this has something to do with. I'm not going to show them. Whatever. This is like almost a non-story, but I can't help but talk about it. Some folks have said that this is a kind of a response to China, and how China is coming down on like everything, being the super oppressive, not just with game time, but with not just with limiting playtime, but with just everything gaming. There's so many things going on in China with regards to gaming and how they're trying to clamp down on weird philosophies, weird Western Eastern philosophies, and coming down on game studios being predatory with their microtransactions and things like that, which I think is good. I like that side. Trying to come down on making it feel like kids want to gamble and stuff like that. Like I'm cool with that. I do recall they also talked about wanting to fight against. I don't know what word they used, but they were just trying to fight against men becoming more effeminate because of the way characters are portrayed in video games. And I'm like, come on. But I'm not really. But let's not talk about that. Let's just go back to World of Warcraft, where we see like a painting of a good looking lady with some cleavage, and then now it's covered up, or a person who's kind of laying on their side in a promiscuous position. It's been replaced by a bowl of fruit, which I find to actually be more sexually appealing than the 8-bit looking painting that was there. So I don't buy into the giant. I don't really buy into the China thing, because the way I see it, like China has not exactly a different client, but you can just hit a toggle and then the client changes from character models, mostly with character models. A lot of things change there. So I don't really buy into that, because because the WoW team can always produce like a separate client for NetEase that has like other things scrubbed away. That's fine. So I don't really buy into that as much as some people want to try to make a thing out of it. My take is mostly what we don't know. We don't know what made those paintings come up in the first place. It could have just been it could have, this could be Blizzard just being very heavy-handed with, okay, let's scrub all these things that could be controversial or whatnot. But we don't know what could be behind it either. There could have been a story behind some of these paintings where some art person was like, yeah, let's put that on. She looks hella hot. And then some other art person, maybe a female, could have been like, no, I don't think that's great. There could have been some sort of like dust up because of that, some drama and blah, blah, blah. Creative differences that became, professional and creative differences that became personal for whatever reason. A story that we have no idea that happened, that could have been behind these. And now they're taking those things back. For all we know, like Alex Cosby could have been like, yeah, those paintings, yeah, let's do that. That's exactly what I want, And so now that's going away. We don't know. And that's fine if that's if that's how it's going to be. The reactions coming from these folks, though, from some folks, though, I guess you feel like your game is being defiled and all that, or it's not the same game, and blah blah blah. Thank you very much, Diaz. Thank you for the gifted subs. The way I see it, though, it's only a big deal because people are just making a big deal out of it. I can see people being fearful of the slippery slope. oh, it started off with naming a whole city to something else because of a reference and all that stuff. You know, what's next? But I feel, yeah, I guess I simply disagree. I don't feel like I'm losing much out of it, out of changes like these. I would feel more for people who feel marginalized, whether it's players or it's employees over at Blizzard or any game dev, where, knowing that I would see a certain thing in game and the story behind it was a story of misogyny and and someone being marginalized or whatever, then I would feel bad about that being there, because I would think to myself, wow, was that really worth it? And I don't think so, because some people are scared that, oh, this is going to take away slut mogs. This is going to take, it's going to take away slut mogs. It's going to take away like those form, it's going to take away the expression of not the game, because a painting is just a painting, right? That's the game presenting something to us. But if they nerf slut mogs, sorry for having, for using a term as crude as that, but you know what I'm talking about. It's easy that way. Nerfing those would be a nerf to the player expression. And I'm not quite sure how to feel about that. But I think I would react more strongly to it, because this is messing with what the players had and then taking it away. It's no different from other things. It's no different. It runs some parallels with like borrowed power and things like that. It's, I worked hard to get that item and now you change that item on me. That doesn't feel right. It's kind of like saying, hey Blizz, we want you to remake this gear and up-res it just because. And Blizzard's like, oh, we're not going to do it just because. Maybe if we introduce a new tier, then we'll have new items that are up-resed. And that's precisely what happened when they went from tier 6 gear to tier whatever it is. From tier 6 gear in vanilla to the Tumor Sargeras gear. And then and then now the recolor of the Tumor Sargeras gear that's coming later. So I wouldn't want to, I don't want to see things from that players worked hard to get be taken away. That doesn't that would be a really bad take, I think. Now that I've kind of like talked it out, I do think that would be bad. Paintings though, I don't care. How many people have posed in front of those paintings, like the Cosby family did with the thing with that portrait? Who does that? That'd be weird. I don't imagine a lot of our peers going like, okay, let's go to wherever those paintings are. I don't know where they are, but let's go to where they are, because I don't know. Because there's a story behind it. We made a narrative behind it. I don't think that's a big deal. Alligator says, it's one of those things where I think it's silly, but it doesn't affect or hurt me. If changing it makes someone else feel better, then so be it. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the people who genuinely feel grr about it. I mean, I guess the people that are saying stuff, it's worth like listening to what they have to say, but it's hard to take them seriously. Because it's hard to take them seriously because those same people otherwise haven't really said anything. Otherwise, these people would be saying, we need WoW to be more sexual. We need sexual liberation. The first thought that did come to mind when I saw those nerfs, though, the changes to those paintings, my thought was like, okay, they're either trying to just kind of nerf sexuality or just take away like these things that try to objectify women, which I find almost distasteful because they changed that one picture of the lady lying on her side. They changed it to fruit. Oh, peach. I could eat a peach for hours. But what I would have liked to have seen would be like, okay, why don't we add some guys to it? Why don't we have some dudes in like really low cut pants and almost showing pubes? They're just kind of doing like a cool little Calvin Klein pose or something like that. I don't think that's a big, I don't think that would be a big deal as long as it's tasteful, as long as it's based on, what if they showed like Greek-like statues where they're showing their dongs and all that stuff. Would that be a big deal, or is that just an homage to art? Parents may have something to say about that, and that's Face Off is my favorite movie in the planet, by the way. That just, I don't know. It's almost a non-story, but here I am talking about it most because it feels ridiculous that people are making it into a bigger thing than it is. I do draw like I said, circling back, I do draw the line at player expression, though. If they nerf the gear, I think that would be problematic for people who are sexually liberated, who want to express themselves however the way that they want in game. And as long as those people in game aren't getting up in other people's face, trying to flash their booty and all that in front of folks, I don't think it's a big deal. We haven't seen anything about, I want to report that person for looking like a hussy. He or she is a temptress, and that's not right. That hasn't been done yet. I do believe that, that sort of expression is fine. And at worst, you can ignore them account wide. Hey, that could always be a thing. That's all I got to say about stuff for today. Again, it's a really cool patch that I think we're getting so far, despite some of these things that might be questionable. But I'm really glad about the things that are coming. I'll be talking about more of these things, but I want to get your thoughts either in chat or in the comments. We can talk about this a little bit more, but otherwise, that's going to be it. And we're going to start warming up and getting ready for video games. So yeah, that is it. I feel like there's something stuck in my nose and it's pissing me off. Like there's something stuck. It's like tickling my nose. I don't know what it is. Let me read chats. I apologize, guys, because I love y'all and I want to see what y'all have to say. Hydrate. Let's see. Penny Hero, who might still be here. I watch you on YouTube. First time actually joining the stream. Hey, what's up? Hi. That was like way long ago. Dropping one bomb after another. Yeah, this patch has been really nice. I just want to make sure, I just really hope that in the future that we don't need to wait for bombs like this. Know what I mean? That we're just gonna like get some cool shit. Let's see. So it is still a little random drop, but now from capped. Yeah, so people who've capped on Valor, they get like a nice Valor dump. Oh, that's right. I didn't really consider that. It's a Valor dump for people who are career Mythic Plus people. Did I see the Fellbear? It looks like Vengeance and Guardian tanks got funky after a raid once. That is, I really do dig that Fellbear. Now it's called a Fellbear. Or Fairbear? Fellbear. Let's go with Fellbear. I really do dig it. I mean, it has all those makings of a demon hunter bear. The China thing, I honestly don't think the China thing is a thing. I really don't think it's that, because like I said, like they could always change the client on that side of things. They can engineer a toggle or something like that. So I think there might be more to it than we'll ever know. For all we know, if the Blizzard lawsuits become like super public, and then we learn that, oh yeah, Alex Cosby was like, yeah, I want that painting, and someone's like, no, I don't. That doesn't really. I'm not really like feeling that. He's like, no, do it because I beat off to that all night. Oh yeah. And then they're like, okay, you're the boss. And, and that could have been, that's all it could have taken, to be honest. If we heard that story, no one would bat an eye. We would be like, good. F that, dude. How dare. Yeah, if anything, the anger would be, the typical angry people, right? It would be misdirected. It would be like, yeah, F Blizzard. How dare they allow someone else to get their creative liberties be walked on because some pervert wanted to show some more boobs. Ill. So people will find a way. when it comes to being angry, people will find the path of least resistance. You know what I mean? They will find a way. For what it's worth, every time I saw one of those paintings, it gives me the, oh, right, this game was made by dudes and for dudes, lol, sigh, and I feel alienated. So, IMO, I'm glad if they are scrubbing them. It's fine, see? Seeing someone like Denathrius, though, I feel like he's super sexualized, super Adonis. Oh, check me out. Here's my low cut shit. Any lower and I'll start showing some pubes, baby. Holla. Which is fine. If people want to, if there wants to be like additional expressions and stuff like that, but it is what it is. Or it's going to be what it's going to be. Ha ha ha. Let's see, are they going to make female characters have long underwear in the next patch since the underwear they have now is just too darn sexy, lol. I want to think that not everyone on the art team is male. I think that's reasonable. I don't know everyone who's on the art team. If anything, it's just oh shucks, I forgot his name. He's more like a Blizzard artist than like just a WoW artist. But crap, the dude from Elite Torn Chieftain. I should know his name. Now I feel guilty. But Samwise Didier. Whatever. Cool guy though. He's honestly a really cool guy. It's not like he's the only person who draws everything. So I don't know. And I'm used to him drawing like orcs and other cool shit. What kind of enterprise? Oh, God. Nerfing self-expression is bad, but creating an inclusive environment at the base is really nice. Yeah, I think that's kind of the balance that they should strike. Leave the players alone. Let them do their own thing. Leave it up to bad apples or bad actors to out themselves as weirdos. But if people want to express themselves and show off the sexiness of their character, it's because they decided their character wanted to be that way. It's not the game presenting itself and pushing this sort of thing. Like, you walk into Goldshire, right? Let's see. One of the new paintings legit looks better. I mean, I think they just upgraded, the graphics on it. Like, ooh. Coffee Fiend, what's up, dude? I will now start asking for that WAD hybrid feral cat. I think it's time to allow all classes to be demon hunters, such as gnome, something as paladin, if your race can be a priest and warrior. Now something that I've been a big supporter of with regards to race class combos has definitely been about making the story. Make a story about it. There are definitely classes that need more lore behind it in order to expand on race class combos. Warriors, everyone can be a warrior. Actually, not everyone could be a warrior. At first, Blood Elves couldn't be a warrior, but that was more a technical limitation than anything. And then they were able to become warriors. What can you do? Most anyone can be rogues, except for dudes with hooves. Sorry, guys. Most everyone can be hunters. Most everyone can be monks, because those don't have those same sort of restrictions. Paladins are a club. They are almost always a club. Humans, Silver Hand. Tauren, Sunwalkers. Blood Elves are Blood Knights, and then the others. Draenei were just born paladins. They were born paladins, and then they changed things up if they wanted to go a different route. That's same thing with druids. Druids have a club. Shaman have a kind of club to explain how it is that people are part of that sort of club. Demon hunters have a very clear and defined story. In fact, demon hunters, according to the Legion lore, they were made back in the TBC days, and ever since then, no new demon hunters were made. The demon hunter starting experience takes place starting in the past, and then you get shot forward, and then so on and so forth. So, with regards to Demon Hunters, Demon Hunter gnomes at the moment make no sense. Demon Hunter anybody at the moment makes zero sense because the story just hasn't been written. So what would need to be done is write the story, make something up. That helps usher in a new generation. Basically, there would need to be a new starting experience exclusively for these demon hunters that are not blood elves or night elves. That's it. Do that, we're good. Don't do that, and then I'd be like, wait, where the hell did these guys come from? So that's mostly my take with regards to class race combos. Some of them have clubs. And you gotta make the club. Like that's how I remember talking for a while about Forsaken Paladins, how that could be a thing. I think I forgot what I called them. The Order of the Penitent or something like that. You know, the Order of Redemption, something like that, where you had these undead who were trying to overcome the pain of the holy light, but overcoming that with just their sheer conviction towards it because they still believe in it. And I think that could have been a thing. For all I know, in the 10.0, without someone like Sylvanas at the helm, and instead having folks like Kalia and that one dude, the boat dude, Derek Proudmore, having them at the helm, maybe they can now make their own order. People are going to react really strongly. It's like, what happened? You know, how is that a thing? If they write the story, then they write the story. We have Night Elf Paladins now because Legion. We don't have Night Elf Paladins because right now we only have the story of one. There's no club, unfortunately. Oh, okay. There's like one or two people. But as for, you know, getting everyone else, that would be a really soft. That's like a slide because most of the story is written, but not all of it. It's basically that one Night Elf girl who went from priest to paladin to be like, "Hey guys, come on in, let's go." And Toronto's like, "Okay, fine, go ahead, do your thing." If they wanted to do something like that, actually, it could be even softer than that. I think if they just did it, then they'll just have to refer back to that storyline for paladins, and then that would be it, because it's already like they're already like halfway there. One thing that'll get annoying though is that we most likely won't get new bikini models, and they won't make the old ones higher res like they're doing with old sets. You know, that might be the case. That very much might be the case, where we just don't see new sexy stuff. I think what we're getting is still like really cool armor, but as for like straight sexy, I don't know. Like, I think I can support that too. I think, you know, or if they, I don't know, like, I wouldn't mind that if they kept on doing like sexy stuff, as long as there were still like more options, right? It'd be the difference between, oh, do you want a robe or a tunic? And the robe is like a full thing, and the tunic is like lingerie, you know, whatever. And there are tons of transmog options anyway. I think where people will get mad though would be like, because Blizzard only offers like, they only make so many things, right? So if Blizzard were to say, okay guys, here's the new tier set, here's a new class set, and then the female model looks super hot, ooh, sexy, but it's like too sexy, I don't know. Then I think people would react strongly, because that's the only option for their new tier sets, because that's what Blizzard decided to put their resources into, and people would make this narrative and make it come out like this negative thing, which it's not. For all we know, you know, even if Blizzard were to say, "Oh yeah, we had some of our female artists made these," so shut up. If anything, I would kind of defend that. Like, if Blizzard were to say, "Okay, we had our female artists and leads come up with something that felt that like it celebrated the strength of women, and you know, both with power and practicality, but also like with some style and some sexiness. And here's what we got, and then they present something. I have a feeling, you know, yeah, people would try to get mad, but I think I'd be for them, because at least we know that it was made with a woman's touch in mind. Not to say that some guys don't have better taste either, though. Alonso's Falco. Well, I mean, you guys are referring to Uther and Alonso or whatever. Like that was Generation 1 though. They had to come from somewhere, right? Terralion was Gen 1. Uther was actually no. I think Terralion was yeah. Terralion and Uther were like Generation 2 and 1 or 1 and 2 respectively, something like that. Thanks, Simon. Zandalari, unless Kyrian Pants. I've seen Kyrian Pants. Like, you've seen the that new transmog. That stuff is short. That stuff is super short. I'm still glad that WoW embraces like more of the fantasy stuff, rather than going like, hey, let's make a sweatshirt. You know, I mean they do have an ugly sweater. They do have some like pretty wild things, but I think they still stick to. They haven't broken the fourth. They haven't entirely broken the fourth wall yet. They have ridiculous costumes like the Yeti costume, and that weird fairy one is like just kind of awkward. So we're talking about the fountain. Yeah, Fountain of Silver. Yeah, anything went there. They had to grab whoever they could. But yeah, with regards to like new paladin orders, they just gotta make it. That's it. Instead of night warriors, we get day warriors, and that opens up into night elf paladins. Like I said, I think that the quest line that came from Legion, that was like the foot in the door. In fact, I was saying that earlier too. I was like, when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, it's coming, next expansion, whatever the next expansion is, we're gonna get night elf paladins. But of course, imagine the premise behind that. Actually, I can see a premise behind that. So let's pretend. Legion, we get whatever that story was. BFA, the start of it, we had Teldrassil being burned down. Night elves are displaced. Some of them need a place to go. Many of them, full of vengeance, decided to run with Tyrande. Other night elves decided to not go the path of vengeance, but instead focus on helping their people. But at the same time, want to defend themselves in the coming war versus the Horde. So they make a paladin order. Ta-da!